Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I was reading through the comments, and I had a comment that asked me essentially about the ceiling for silver. Specifically, we were talking about gold, silver yesterday, which is better, which is more recognizable. And basically, the topic came up of, yeah, you're always going to see dips and then you're always going to see jumps. But is there a ceiling? Is there a point where, I got to sell my silver? I need to hurry up and get out of it. And so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that today, where that number is, in my opinion, and how I plan on playing it out and handling it. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts if you want. I love hearing them. And thank you so much for watching the videos. We are trying to grow the channel. We are coming up on 15,000 subscribers. It's pretty exciting, and a special thank you to all of our members. So with that being said, before we get into today's topics, let's just take a quick look and see what silver and gold is doing right now at 2 a.m. in overnight trading. We've got silver down about a quarter, sitting at $36.40. Kind of jumping around a little bit, but we had a nice run up yesterday. Again, we did get up over $37, which was pretty interesting. So now we're sitting at $36.39. However, well, we'll get into the ceiling part because, some people are saying, yeah, I kind of agree with you on the dip that's coming, the big dip, and $33, $32 is not an unreasonable dip. So we're going to talk about that too in a minute. Taking a quick look at gold, we got gold sitting at $3,325. Really doing a great job holding its own, consolidating in the $3,300 range. Does that mean that it won't dip under 33? No, it does not mean that. In fact, I think just like we're going to see a big dip in silver before this month comes to an end, I also think we're going to see a dip in gold, but I don't think the dip in gold is going to be nearly as bad as the silver. I actually think we're going to be back over 100 to 1 gold silver ratio at some point this month. So don't write it off like, oh, I missed my opportunity, on and on, because I don't believe that you necessarily did. Just keep your eyes open on what's going on this month. Taking a quick look, we got to touch on Bitcoin for a brief minute. I know a lot of people may or may not like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's doing really good right now, sitting at 109,550, up phenomenal in the last week or so. As you can see, we were down to almost 100 grand. Now we're up 8% just this week, which is pretty good for those of you guys that are invested in Bitcoin. Congrats. It's looking good. I worry, though, when stuff starts falling apart, how well is Bitcoin going to hold up in some major economic collapse or crash? We won't even go to a collapse yet. I think it's important that people don't focus on the collapse, focus on the slow erosion of people's wealth and essentially the debasement of not just the American dollar, but all fiat currencies of the world. The difference is it would appear that a lot of countries are starting to buy up gold, starting to buy up silver, and kind of keeping it low key. We don't want it, people don't want it getting out necessarily, because once it gets out, now they've got to compete with a whole lot more money. When the public starts buying, it will drastically skyrocket the price, in my opinion. Taking a quick look at the DXY, we got the DXY right now. Let me refresh this. Trading at 99.23, up a little bit. I expect this will continue to go up as we get closer and closer to the Fed meeting. Now this, as it goes up, will drive down the price of gold and silver a little bit. We're not going to see drastic drops just yet. I also think that as the Fed announces whatever their Fed rate cut or rate hold will be, I think it's important to know that, if they don't cut rates, a lot of people have already priced in a rate cut. We've seen the stock market do really well. We've seen gold and silver do really well. A rate cut will continue to escalate prices and blow this bubble up even more, because that is cheap money or free money essentially. And people will want to take that cheap money and invest it in stuff that will probably go up. And there's a lot of people that are trying to front run right now all of this. And so if the Fed doesn't cut rates, the opposite will happen, because a lot of people have already started anticipating a cut. And I think that's really why we're seeing Bitcoin continue to escalate. They really believe that that rate cut is coming, because the economy is not doing as well as we've been being told. And I'm not even convinced that it has been, but that's debatable, I guess, for some people. Taking a quick look at the U.S. debt clock, we got the U.S. debt clock right now at $36,959 billion, almost at that big 37. I think with everything going on, they want to distract you from this number and how quick it's growing, because it is growing faster and faster, and it will continue to grow at a faster rate. Yeah, it won't be long before we're looking at 40 trillion or 50 trillion if something major doesn't happen. Taking a quick look at how the Dow Jones did today. Dow Jones pretty well trading flat today, a little bit of up and down, ending the day at 42,761, or up 1 point, down 1 point. Nothing really there to really talk about. We got the NASDAQ up a little over 0.25% or 61 points, closing out at 19,591. S&P, which is most people's retirement, up a very little bit, 5 points, nothing major there. Big notes, what's going to happen with the Fed meeting. We got the Fed meeting right around the corner. A lot of people are expecting now a slim chance of a rate cut. We're starting to see that, which means smart money will probably start pulling from stocks. They'll start selling their Bitcoin. They'll start selling a lot of their holdings, anticipating that we won't see a rate cut. And now we won't know for sure, obviously, until the actual Fed meeting next week. However, I always say insiders will know what's going on first. So you'll start seeing the markets start moving, because big money will start pulling out essentially. And that people will take notice to that. So taking a quick look, I want to talk today about where the ceiling is. Where is the ceiling for gold? Where is the ceiling for silver? For this month, I should say I want to focus more on silver, but I may touch on gold a little bit, because silver right now, to me, it's on fire. A lot of people are seeing the gold-silver ratio come down. A lot of people think that they missed the boat. Even me, I'm looking at some of the gold purchases that I picked up in the last 6 months and saying, man, maybe I shouldn't have bought in those. Maybe I should have focused my attention on silver a little bit more, but it's water under the bridge. First of all, it doesn't matter if you've got gold, if you've got silver. You're sitting on wealth preservation. You're sitting on a good position, on a metal, and you've already got yours. And I think down the road, in 6 months to a year, you're going to be very happy that you bought it when you bought it. And I think more people will start to realize that as more and more people start waking up to what's going on. Pretty soon, I do think we're going to see a big jump in silver and gold. And I think a lot of people are going to all of a sudden want to jump in. And we've been down this road before. We've been down this road before with the up and the down and the back and the forth. And, this idea of, where's the ceiling? Where do I sell my silver? So here's the thing people have to understand. You've got to understand that there is no real ceiling to how high silver can go. Why? Because so many things can happen. As low as the dollar can go is as high as silver and gold can go. Now, what does that mean? That means that the dollar, because it is a fiat currency, it could go to zero. I mean, theoretically, something major could happen, and okay, we're going to merge with, let's just hypothetical for a quick minute. Let's just say, hey, we're going to merge with Canada, we're going to merge with Mexico, we're going to make one big country and combine resources, combine money. We've seen this happen overseas before with the BRICS. And if something like that happens, I mean, essentially they could just reset the US dollar and roll out a new currency, and that's it. and where does that leave people? Well, here's the thing. If the US dollar goes to zero, then essentially if you're buying gold or silver in US dollars, then it's going to be astronomical. But the truth of the matter is, at that point, anybody that has gold and silver is probably not going to want some currency that has been withered away, almost like what happened in Venezuela. When you think about Venezuela, you know, people laughed at people buying gold and silver. And then all of a sudden, they devalued the currency, they revalued it, and then the people that were holding gold, silver, yeah, their silver went up in value. It may not have seen it. You may not have seen it because now if it's, let's just hypothetically say silver right now, since it is $36 roughly, 36.50, if they reset the currency today and they shaved off a zero or two zeros or something, your silver's still going to be worth $36. But the thing is, it will be worth $36 in the new currency. And if they shave off one zero off of it, that would be $360 in old currency. Once you understand that, then you understand that there is no ceiling to how high the price of gold can go or silver. It's important to know this because some of these claims of $100 silver, $500 silver, $1,000 silver, or even as high as $8,000 silver, which is the highest one I've heard a YouTuber say. And they did a good job explaining how that could happen, but there was so many hypotheticals in there. For example, the gold silver standard, the gold silver ratio had to go down to 15-1. We had to see gold get revalued up to like 15,000 or 30,000. There was all these different things that basically painted how it was possible, but there's too many what ifs in there. There's too many parts to the equation that if any one of them didn't pan out, then silver goes up, but it doesn't go up to that astronomical number that they basically stated. Now, here's the thing. People love dreaming big. That's why everybody plays the lottery. People want that opportunity to be, to retire, to just, end and rest and take a break and have nothing to worry about, be instant millionaires. And, there's a lot of people out there that have been buying silver for a while, and they would love that opportunity. The thing is, no matter what currency happens, what currency you're using, they've been devaluing it. They've been revaluing it. They've been debasing it. There's so many different things that have been happening to paper currencies. Once you realize that, would you really ever trust another paper currency? When you look at Venezuela, they revalued the money, and there were people out there that had stacked silver and gold. They stacked it, they saved it, and when it turned and they revalued the currency, these people were on cloud nine. Woohoo! We made it. We did it. You made the big bucks. And now you're sitting on millionaire status, but everything's more expensive. But on top of that, not just did they make it, but some of these people cashed it in. They cashed it in for these new bolivars. And what happened? A few months later, they just reset the currency again. In fact, they did it multiple times, like 6 or 7 times. And if you got out anywhere between the first one and the second one, or the second one and the third one, or the third and the fourth, or the fifth and the sixth, or so on, you took a haircut. You lost a ton of money. Can you imagine? All of a sudden, they reset the currency. You then sell your gold and silver thinking, this is it. This is the top. That's it. Now we have a new money, and boom, I'm going to trade my silver and gold in. I'm going to take the new money, and I'm going to enjoy my life. And then all of a sudden, a month later, they reset the currency again, and you just got wiped out. You were the short-term millionaire for a day, essentially, or a month, or whatever. Once you realize that, you understand that there is no ceiling. Now, short-term ceiling, I think we pretty well are right there. We will not go higher, I don't believe, than $37 or $38 this month. This month. I think that's it. $37 and $38 tops. We might hit 38.01 or some stupid little, a little bit over, maybe, in the 38. We will not see 29 anything this month. Then I think as the month comes to an end, I think we're going to see it get whittled down. I think we're going to see the dollar get stronger as we move into the Fed meeting. We're at 99.25. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go back over 100. As it creeps up, you'll see the dollar get stronger, and essentially you'll see silver and gold prices come down a little bit. We'll start seeing it dip. Then they'll give some big announcement how they're not going to cut the rate. If they don't cut the interest rate, you can expect a drop in everything across the board. That will probably bring silver down a little bit more. Then the manipulation will come in. As the month is coming to an end, we're going to start to see the slow beat down. Maybe we'll get down to $33. And some people will start talking how, it's going to pop right back up, and they'll buy that 34, they'll buy that 33, and then one night somewhere in there you're going to see a big drop, probably 32 maybe at most, and that big drop, that dollar at that point, when you just seen a $4 essentially slow erosion, you see a dollar drop after that, or we get down to 34 and then you see a quick one night $2 drop and then pop right back up. Now here's the thing, the window is going to be small, I believe. To catch the bottom is going to be very difficult. My son was asking me tonight, if you're right, will people be selling? Here's the thing, there will always be people selling and buying because they don't know where the top is, they don't know where the bottom is, including myself. Do I think people will be selling? Well, first of all, if you catch something, the markets are open, boom, you're looking, you're watching your favorite bullion dealer, whoever that is, whoever you like to order from, you put in your order, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later, the price spikes, they haven't sent your order out. Will they cancel it? We've seen it happen before, but I don't think they'll cancel it if it's down to 32 and then all of a sudden it jumps back up to 35. That's not something I think they'll cancel for. However, like I said, there have been dealers that have canceled. Me, I'm going to try to diversify. I'm going to put a few orders in with a few different companies, especially if I see $32. Unfortunately, if we see $32, I'm probably going to pretty much spend most of what I have on hand, on standby. I'll probably miss if we do go down to 31 or 30. I think it's realistic that we will retest the $32, $33 level somewhere in there. Any lower is just a gift, in my opinion, because at the end of the month, when the new month starts, that's when I think we'll see a pop. We've got a lot going on right now. A lot of stuff around the world is scaring people. It's making people want to invest in precious metals. It's making people want to invest in Bitcoin. It's making people want to invest their money in something other than just saving it in fiat cash that's getting whittled away. Once you realize that, it's just a matter of trying to time the market and catch a nice opportunity. Now, dollar cost averaging is always the safe play. Dollar cost average, if you're buying at 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36, hey, you're doing the right thing. However, I've already got some. A lot of you already got some. And at this point, it's about not riding that dollar cost average even higher. I want to catch the dip. I want to catch the opportunity. And that's kind of what I'm targeting right now. As the month goes on, you will probably start to see a lot of what I've just said come to light. Once you see that, it will maybe put a little more confidence in you. Don't freak out and say, oh, there's not a dip if silver jumps to $38. Now, moving on real quick to the gold price. I mean, how much of a dip will we see in gold? I would be shocked if we see $3,000 gold again in this month. I think the dip will come in gold, but I think the dip on gold is only going to be about 100, 150, $200 at most. Why do I think the gold dip is going to come? I think a gold dip will come because there will be a lot of the manipulators out there realizing that they have to beat the price of gold down a little bit to help drive the price of silver down. You can't have gold not moving and then silver climbing drastically. Now, another thing you've got to consider too, look at what has happened in the last week. We've seen silver running up, but we haven't really seen gold running up. Gold has pretty well been flat for the last week, essentially. When you really zoom out and look at it, I mean, let's be honest, it's not having any big moves when you look over the last couple weeks. Take a look at this chart right here. You can see it pretty easy, just fluttering right around between 32 and 34 and staying right in that range. So they will have to beat down gold to make it easier to take down silver, because usually when one goes down, the other goes down more volatile. And that's why a lot of people don't like silver. They don't like that volatility. Now me, I like the volatility only because at some point we are going to see it go off the charts and we will see a higher price. Now, in the long run, where do I see silver going? I think silver is going to blow through 50. I think it's going to blow through 100. It's going to take a little time, though. It's not going to happen overnight. I would not be surprised to see $45 or $50 silver by the end of this year. I had someone ask me, do you really think $50 silver is possible, period? And I said, absolutely. I said, I would bet everything on it. In fact, I kind of bet big on it now. I mean, I've been stacking for a while. I think it's going to go a whole lot higher. And I think a lot of other people are with me on that. They think that too. I think the difference between me and the majority of the people right now that make these type of videos is they can't see a pullback right now to $32 or $33. We are on fire. It's easy to believe the trend will continue, and that's it, you know. But a lot of these other YouTubers, I'll say, are sponsored. They're sponsored by companies. I don't have any sponsorships. I do this for fun, and I tell people I will go around and I will pick up the cookies from everybody. What do I mean the cookies? I pick up the spot deals. I don't care if you're at max and you're selling 5 ounces at spot, I'm calling and I'm getting it. If you're JM Bullion and you're giving 10 ounces at spot, I'm calling, I'm getting it. New customers at, I don't know, Gold Bureau, whatever, get 1 ounce of gold at spot, I'm calling, I'm getting it. New customers at Universal Coin and Bullion get an American Silver Eagle. An American Silver Eagle, it may seem like, oh, what's 1 or 2 American Silver Eagles? It doesn't matter. I'm picking up the cookies. Anything I can get at spot, I pick up. If it's junk silver at spot, I'll pick it up. Spot price is how you're going to do very well. It's going to keep your costs down. And at a time like this, when you've got the price now at $36.40, essentially, you tack on a $2, $3, $4 premium, it's going to be, you know, a little time. You got to wait to catch that premium back up. And here's the thing. As silver and gold continue to go up, you will see the volatility pick up. You will see the prices start having bigger and bigger jumps. Let's be honest. Remember when silver jumped a quarter or 50 cents and we were all happy? Back when it was $15 and it went up. Hey, it hit $15.50 today. It hit $16. Now a dollar is nothing. To see a dollar jump is nothing. We will continue to see an escalation in growth in the prices. You know, 1% of a dollar may only be a penny. 1% of $1 million is a whole lot more. You know, once you realize these things, you realize it makes sense that we're going to see the prices continue to escalate. Now, this is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you all something to think about. If you don't have any silver at all, I don't think I would go off of this advice. I'll be honest. If I had no silver, I would want to get a little bit of silver under my belt. And if that means that I've got to pay a little bit higher at a $36.40 spot right now, if I didn't have any, I would pick some up. However, this is for the people that have been following me for a while. They've been stacking. They've been buying these dips. When you look at the charts for essentially, we'll just say a year, we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. This is just in the last year. You know, there were people that all of a sudden silver broke out and hit 31.80, and they were buying. And then they were down here complaining when it went down to 26. Then it jumps all the way up to 34, and they're like, I wish I'd kept buying. What was I thinking? And now they're buying again. And then it comes down, and then we're down to 28, and they're like, what a fool I am. Why did I buy? I should have just stuck with my gut and not bought anymore. And then the price goes up again to 34, and they're like, oh, we're back up there at a high. Thank goodness I got a little extra. I'm going to buy some more now. And then the price plunges all the way down to 28, and again, they're complaining. Now we've got the price at 36.50. We're seeing higher highs. We're seeing higher lows. We're seeing an escalation. Do not be surprised to see some sort of a pullback. Look at how quick this climbed straight up. It makes sense that there probably could be a pullback coming. I mean, this is basically what we've seen right here. This spot right here. This jump right here. And then we start seeing a pullback, and then who knows? We'll see how it plays out. I'm not at all worried, though. Why? Because I think ultimately where silver and gold is going, you are going to be extremely thankful that you bought what you did when you did. Now, some people might make the argument if we hit 50, that's called for a major pullback and they want to get out. You know what? They can get out. I ain't getting out. I didn't take years to acquire the position that I have so that I could make a few dollars. I want a life-changing bet. This is not just about wealth preservation for me. This is about profiting. And anybody out there that says you don't profit off of silver, you just protect your wealth, that's incorrect. And the reason that's incorrect is because of the manipulation that is in the market. If it was true market pricing, then I would say, yeah, that's true. It goes up, it comes down. Once in a while, you see some major event happen that spikes it or drops it. But realistically, when you've got this kind of manipulation in the market that people can come out and say, we're going to put 80 million ounces of silver for sale on this date, that's BS. 30 million ounces, that's BS. When you've got silver getting bought, you don't see physical silver in that quantity hit the market. Nobody out there is selling it. It's paper. They're throwing the paper on the market. By selling paper silver, it drives the price down drastically. And by borrowing someone else's silver and then essentially selling it, that's called shorting, they've got to pay that silver back, but they drive the price down. And then what happens? As they drive the price down, they buy it back up. Now, here's the thing. The end of this month, they better cover them short positions, or it's going to get really wild. There will be a day that will come where they will not be able to cover their short positions. When that day comes, the game is over. You will not see a pullback once people really wake up. At that point, it's over. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video here. I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you check out some of our other great videos. I do post a video every Monday through Friday. I am trying to grow the channel, so if you do hit that subscribe button, it's a huge help. I can't thank you enough. With that being said, I thank you all for watching, commenting. Right now it's hard with YouTube because YouTube is just kind of not really sharing the videos. I don't understand why. I don't know why I'm on their hate list right now, but it's just I'm not seeing the shares. So it could just be the timing on the year. But I would think with the excitement going on in gold and silver, I think it's just a matter of time before we see some crazy people start coming into the market and putting obscene amounts of money in gold and silver. So take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I will see you guys again tomorrow on T Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.